Alright, on this install, we're going to be putting the slider kit on, ewheels and the Kingsong. These out so we can get this thing going up and down a lot smoother. So let's see, what we'll have to take off first is your seat is on. I already took mine off, so you'll pop that bad boy off. There's 2 screws here, so you gotta find them. Right, there's one right there. Let's see. Alright, so you'll take that one out. There's another one here. Alright, after you loosen that last one, this will slide out just like that. Put it away. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off 1, 2, 3. There's 3, 4, 5 screws to get the top of the motherboard exposed so I can unhook the battery cables. I think it's gonna be a lot easier than taking these off and trying to mess with the cables underneath this board. So let's loosen up these and I'll be right back. Well, I failed to get that camera angle when I pulled this off, but after you take off these bolts, you'll slide that off, and then you'll pull up these from the battery cables, and then what you'll do is you'll unhook these first, and then you'll unhook it from there where the battery's hooked up, and then same thing, unhook these first and this little one, and then unhook the main battery from the motherboard, and then drain the board so you'll hold the see the light come on still, even though it's not connected. You gotta make sure you get all the power out of there. So you'll turn on the power button a few times on and off. And then the next part would be just taking off these next 8 bolts and taking off the whole control board. And we'll be right back. Alright, for this next part, I'm gonna have to take some pads off to get to these 3 bolts. They're there. So I'm gonna take off these 3. You can take off these 2 right here, but I cannot find the right size for this Allen wrench right here. I don't know, some weird size, but I've been looking and just can't find one. But if you do have one that fits, you can take those 2 off and slide the whole shell off. But what I'm going to do is take off these 3 and 3 on the other side. So we'll be all right. Now you got to do the other side. There's 3 bolts on this side as well. And also, this is if you're doing it from down here, not from up top. Like I said, you can take those out if you want. I'm going to do it this way, and we'll be right back. Alright, take that last bolt out. Be careful because it frees up the whole suspension. So now the whole wheel can slide. Let's see right here. Probably so it can slide free. So we'll get it on the side. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and just unplug the motor, just because I don't want to mess up the motherboard by trying to slide it through. So we'll be back. It's just 3 bolts, but I didn't want to do it because I already siliconed it. It's watertight, but we'll be back real quick. I just want to let y'all know that's possible. You can slide it through there if you have someone to help you. Alright, you have the 3 motor cables here to unplug, and this little guy, make sure you guys are good, slide them out, and it's free. Now my motherboard can sit over here. So I have to take this cover off. I'll just have to take off the silicone and reapply some new silicone. So now this is all free here. This is all free. And we'll just have to slide this out. Pull it on up. Alright, after you pull these up, you'll want to fold them all the way up to get over this plastic. Kind of push it down to get it loose. But probably unloosening these would be a lot easier to have that whole suspension come out, and then you can just slide the whole wheel out. But it's alright, so we got the wheel free. So there she is. Kind of hard to do with one hand. I caught on something. Set this down. Alright. Where's that wheel? We'll clean out those channels. Got the wheel out, so you can see one of my rubber bushings are already broken. But there it is. So next part, we'll take these out, put the new rollers on. And we're gonna clean this bad. Alright, next part, just take off these 8. And we're gonna replace them with the new roller kit. Just slide that out, and you'll reach over here, get the new slider. Looks like this one goes up a little higher. There's the other one. So there's a comparison of the 2. So you'll line that up. Put the new bolt. Already has Loctite on there. So you'll want to put these in place before you put the rollers on here, the wheels. So you'll put this on there nice and tight, and then we'll get the rollers on here last. Alright, I got them both on. Make sure they're tight. And flip it over and do the other side, just like this. Alright, on this last part, just make sure that all 8 of these bolts are nice and tight before you start rolling the sliders on, okay? So the next step is just grabbing the wheels. I'm going to stand it up here. And there we go. Alright, let's put them on. So now that we got the rollers rolled in there, you gotta pick your height. So you can either go back to your factory one, or you can adjust for your own. I like to go just a little bit higher than how it came from the factory. So I'll be one from the top. So you'll make sure you'll leave one open there, come down to the next two. That's how I'm going to set it up. You can go all the way down or up. So you can pick or choose how you want your wheel to sit. Either the pedals higher or you want the pedals lower. If I do a lot of off-roading, I prefer the pedals to be a little higher. So you gotta pull it out a little bit to adjust. Alright, after you put the last one in, make sure they're all tight. That's what's hanging on to your wheel. And last tip I forgot to tell you, if you were taking these out to slide the wheel out, to get it past this plastic, to pinch it down, you'll have to deflate your tire to squeeze it out. But like I said, it's probably easier just to bolt these, slide it out, but each their own. But we're almost there. Just gotta put the control board back on. And I'm at the silicone. Alright, before you put the motherboard back on, what I'm gonna do is silicone around here. Alright, now we got the silicone on there. Let's bring it on. Alright, on the next step, make sure you got the blue, green, yellow lined up in the right spots. It'll be on the other side too. And let's put this bad boy cover on. And just for safekeeping, go ahead and put some more silicone around the motor wire. You don't want to get no water in there, have it cut off. So let's go ahead and make a nice little line. One line here. Missing that screw, so cover that up. Alright, I think that should do it. Get that a little closer. Alright. Alright, after you flip it over, see the battery wires. We'll feed it through the motherboard so we can get that top back on. So you'll get them all through this side as well. Alright, now that we got the control board up and the battery wires running through it, we're ready to hook up. But before we do, let's go ahead and try hit the power button again. Make sure we get all that juice out of this board. Alright, we'll hook up the lights first, and you'll hook up the BMS wires first before we actually get the power. So hook these up, make sure they're in tight. Same on this side. Same with the lights. Plug in that little guy. Alright, now come here, battery wire. Now we're ready to hook up the actual. Everything's lined up. Now we're going to hook up the power. When you hook the power up, you want to make sure you do a nice firm line up. Alright, here we go. It's still going to do a little shock when the first one lines up. But that is it. You push these bad boys in there. Get them out of the side. Tuck them in. Nice and tucked in. Looking good. Grab our cover and just put the. Alright, now that they're all in there, just put the next 8 bolts in. One of these. Make sure you line it up. And another thing too, make sure you don't got no cracks in here, because you don't want no water getting down into your battery. When you put this cover on, make sure You don't pinch none of the inside wires on, but these screws when you put it on. Right after you get those 8 in, hand tighten these. Make sure they're flush. And if you over tighten them, it will crack this. So don't over tighten it. Alright, last piece to install is right here. That's the 2 screws. Line this up. And she slides right in. Alright, let's see what happens. Okay, we got power. And let's check it out. Let's see what y'all think. I think that's a lot better.